pour yourself some soju and get comfortable, because you are tuning into the Confessions of a K-Drama Queen podcast. K-dramas are my guilty pleasure, and if you're here, they're probably yours too. So stick around, because we are talking all things K-drama.
K-drama. K-drama.
K-drama.
Hey guys, and thanks for joining me for another episode of Confessions of a K-Drama Queen. My name is Josie, and I've been happily addicted to dramas since 2009, which makes me a dinosaur. I'm sorry, I'm a little late this week for this episode. I'm on vacation and I got a little carried away with vacationing things, but I didn't forget. I just kind of started getting lazy, so I'm just trying to cut that off. Last episode, we went over the drama Why Her, and this week we'll be discussing Eve. If you already follow me on Instagram at k.dramaqueenxo, you probably already know I'm holding a watch party on Viki this Friday, July 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to join, please RSVP by sending me a message in the link that is in my bio on Instagram, or in the link that I guess I'll add it to the description here. So that way, if you send me a message, I'll be able to email you guys the link for, when it's time. We'll be streaming the first episode, so that way all the Viki users will be able to log in and you don't have to be one of those like premium pass users. I'm really hoping a few of you guys would join, so that way I can get to know who's out there. And I really like to gossip, and I'm really into having online friends, so I think it'll be super fun. Okay, so let's get into this episode. I don't know what's up with me lately, but after watching Why Her and now I'm watching Eve, I feel like the two seem to like complement each other very well. So if you're watching those two back to back, I highly recommend it, just because they kind of have like the same theme. Everyone apparently is on this murder investigation / revenge kind of vibe. And I'm just here for women getting their revenge. So I'm definitely here for that. I will say that with Eve, if you were a fan of So Ye-ji's performance in It's Okay to Not Be Okay, you're going to love her in this. She like really nails this cold-eyed expression look very well. If you watched Uri the Virgin, I feel like she tried to do that look and it just failed miserably. But she does really well, and her acting skills really glow. I like her in this. She's almost like a different kind of crazy. Like, she was a little crazy and It's Okay to Not Be Okay, but this is a whole different like trauma. So Baby Girl is definitely like emotionally unstable, but it makes for good TV, and apparently she's got that down packed. So she plays a young girl named Lee Rael, who grows up and seeks revenge on this super rich family who orchestrated her father's death and mother's quote-unquote mysterious disappearance. I don't want to tell you what happens. If you know me and if you watched my other episodes, I really try my best not to spoil too much for you too early in case you still haven't watched it. So I'm just trying to give you a quick lowdown of what's good with the show and stuff like that. So anyways, this super mega rich family are the owners of this company called LY Group. And they were essentially trying to take over Lira's, her father's company, because he's like into tech and all this stuff. But when he wasn't trying to give it up, or he wasn't trying to sell the company, they basically like beat him up sorry, that's not funny. They basically beat him up in front of her and her mom, and essentially like killed him just to get the company. Like, these greedy MFs, mother effers, they got a lot of nerve taking people's fathers, but nonetheless, that is the core plot of this show. So she spends the next 13 years planning this elaborate scheme to destroy everyone involved in this dismantlement of her family. And she comes back to Korea with a new identity, a husband, and a child. And you can almost bet that they're all a part of this plan. So, she leaves as a teenager. I think she was like 15, and then just comes back with this mysterious family and a whole new name. I think her name was like Kim Song-boon or something like that. But, of course, she didn't plan this alone. Because can you imagine being 15 years old and planning this like super secret agent plan? Almost, I mean, not impossible, but she had some help. So she was recruited by a woman who lost her daughter in a similar circumstance. So the family has something to do with her daughter's death. And in a way, I feel like the way that they plotted this revenge together has allowed them to kind of heal in the process, the loss of their family. So they found the family within each other. So that's nice. It's a weird family, weird dynamic, but they're trying to make the best of the situation. So this plan runs deep, obviously, and her first attack is on the family tree, the LY group, and Lee Rael is going to start with the CEO's wife, right? Off the bat, you already know that Homegirl is a lunatic, full of anxiety and mental issues brought on from her childhood because her dad, who really owns the company, is an evil man. Like, evil. If I'm telling you, like in the first episode, this man released Rottweilers on this dude that he had his bodyguards beat up. He like poured blood on this guy. I don't even know what this guy did. Like this was obviously an introduction to how cruel this guy is. And he released these Rottweilers on him and essentially just ate him. Like, I had never seen that in a K-drama. I said, yo, this man really released dogs on somebody? Okay. I was like, all right, I'm all in. I put my chips in. I said, I'm all in this drama because I never seen anybody release dogs on people. Yeah, so anyways. Okay, so I got sidetracked because I'm sorry, the dogs threw me off. So Eve, I'm gonna call her Eve. Eve starts with CEO's wife, right? She befriends her because the real tea here is that she's trying to split them up. She's trying to cause a divorce. She's trying to steal her man, like on some city girls time. So there's a lot of lust and sexiness, I guess, going on in the first half of the show. And obviously she manages to steal her husband because So Yeji is probably the top cutest Korean actress I have ever seen and always so stylish. But I mentioned in the last episode on Why Her, and I mentioned how that drama was hard for me to read. But this one is even harder to read because, like, I just feel like I'm at the mercy of this plot. It's been a really long time since I truly just had no idea of how this is going to end. Normally, being a K-drama veteran, I kind of have an idea of how things are going to end, or I have like multiple ideas of like different scenarios of how the story is going to go. But to be honest, I'm so freaking lost. I don't know what would be a happy ending here because it feels like there really is no truly happy ending because that trauma that Eve suffered from the beginning is almost impossible to really get over. But, I wish her the best. I want her to end up with somebody that loves her and all that jazz. But for starters, I'm so confused on the love interest. She had been seducing the CEO from the beginning because obviously it's part of the plan. And she may be falling for him for real, but because she's so cold and a calculating kind of person. I literally have no idea what's going on inside her pretty little head. Like, normally there's some kind of like monologue that happens between the main character and themselves that kind of shines a light to the audience of what the main character is thinking. But we don't have that here. We're just looking at her cold, beady eyes, just stone cold. We don't know what she's thinking. We don't know how she's feeling. I'm so confused on everything, at least as far as, relationships. But yeah, I think originally, obviously, it was her plan to bring down the empire. But once she found out, okay, all right, here's a little spoiler. The CEO is a illegitimate child, so his mom is not of money. She was the maid. So sorry that I had to drop that. But I feel like once she found that out, because that wasn't part of the plan, she kind of developed like sympathy for him, because those people from the LY group family, those rich people, they killed his mother essentially. So he's like a puppet to them, and he has no power, and he's miserable there, and he hates all of them. So they kind of built this real connection. So let me break that down a little bit for you. The CEO married into the LY group, and through the evil daughter that I mentioned earlier, and that's how he came into power. He originally was born into his own family success from his dad's side. So I assumed that the marriage was really just a business move. But anyway, so the mom was killed off, and I'm still confused between the love interest. As we get deeper into the show, we see that Eve does have feelings for the CEO, but plot twist, there's someone else who has feelings for Eve and knows her real identity. So remember when I mentioned how she went out of the country as a teenager after the whole tragedy with her father? There was a lawyer that helped her escape, and he saved them from when the father was getting beat up by those people. And he says that Eve's father was like a father to him. So he has tabs on her, and he keeps tabs on her throughout the show. But I thought there was like a love interest there at first, and I was confused because, the lawyer had been continuing to help her, and he made it clear that no matter what she decides in regards to the revenge, he will always be on her side. And I thought at first, like, is this lovey-dovey vibes, or, is this more like a brother-sister vibe, and he just cares because he's known her since she was young? So as I continued to watch, obviously the feelings were mutual. Well, I don't know mutual, but he definitely likes her, and I don't know how that's gonna end, because child, this is twisted. And like, where is anybody finding the time to fall in love while this whole plan is unfolding? Like, we literally have this killer family killing people, innocent people, just greedy MFs, just, I don't know. But I honestly love that there's always time for love, no matter what is going on in the K-drama. We always make time for love. But it's nice for her, though, to finally have an ally besides the woman that raised her, because I feel like she has like a complicated relationship with her, and she can't really cry or be vulnerable or like emotional because she seems pretty strict, at least in the first half. So it was nice that she was able to be herself somewhat, because she cried in front of the lawyer like a billion times. So obviously she feels safe around him, and that's nice, because during this whole revenge thing, it's really hard to be yourself. I mean, I don't know, you go down that rabbit hole and it's really easy to lose yourself. But there's so much going down, and Eve is conflicted on whether or not she should betray the CEO. So episode 12 ends with the CEO's wife threatening to reveal Eve's true identity after capturing Eve's fake mom. So I guess we'll see how that's going to end. I think the next episode comes out in 2 days. Let me see. Yeah, it comes out in 2 days, so I guess we can talk about it at the watch party. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. Okay, since the show is still airing, I really don't have a lot for you guys because I'm still watching like the rest of y'all. So I'm debating whether I should come back and wrap up the finale. I guess if I feel really uncomfortable by the way that it ends, we'll talk about it again. But that is all for today. Remember, the watch party is this Friday, July 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So follow me on Instagram if you don't already. That's at k.dramaqueenxo. Bye.